Hi, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about why it's so hard to let go of someone that you love. But before I jump in, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining, where I talk about all things relationship and divorce. So most of us have been here at some point in our lives, but if you haven't, hopefully this will give you a slightly different perspective from what you're used to hearing, because it really is more than just about losing your partner. So you met this person, you felt all kinds of chemistry with them. This person who you thought was your forever and ever, the one. Feel good chemicals are pumping in your brain and you're so in love. Your brain is lit up like a Christmas tree. No, really. A heavy surge of dopamine is running through your brain. Dopamine is part of your brain's reward system. Among other things, it is the pleasure chemical that gives us that energy, that motivation, focus, and maybe even a slight feeling of obsession when we're madly in love with someone because we feel like we can move mountains when we're with this person. You have this vision of your entire future with this person mapped out, and you're feeling blessed or so lucky to have found your person. You trust his commitment and you feel stable and secure. And your brain is producing more feel-good chemicals like oxytocin. So maybe you take it to the next level and move in together. Maybe you get married and maybe you even have children together. Life is going pretty well for you right now. And suddenly or seemingly without warning, the relationship ends, or you find yourself getting divorced and you are so devastated. You're beside yourself. Your partner is gone and you're all alone. And on top of that, you are left with these immense cravings for the love chemicals that have been in your body throughout the entire relationship. So here you are, feeling so lost and confused. Your self-esteem has taken a giant nosedive. You're feeling abandoned. Maybe you're even questioning your self-worth. And unfortunately, when we feel bad about ourselves like this, we want to reach out to this very person who once loved us because we need to get confirmation that it's really not about us. It's not that there's anything wrong or limiting about us. It's not that we're unlovable or unattractive. We want to hear that it was about some outside force. That's why it's over. That's why we're getting divorced. It has to be. But that person is longer there, and you are facing the prospect of losing them forever and ever. And this very idea makes your body produce even more chemicals, and you feel like you're falling more in love with this person. And so now desperation starts to kick in. You feel so desperate to hold on to your partner and to hold on to your previous life. And it doesn't matter if there were actually negative things going on prior to this or if red flags were popping up all along. None of it matters now because all you're focusing on is the good, and you're craving this person so badly that you feel like you would do anything to get them back, anything to get your life back. And kicking these cravings is like kicking a drug or alcohol addiction. They are that strong and they are an addiction. And so very, very hard to let go, unfortunately. And some have the added issue where religion even comes into play, like I did. Raised a very Catholic, in a very Catholic household, and having been a Catholic schoolgirl, divorce was just not in my vocabulary. My parents were married 54 years before my dad passed, and this is what I believe was supposed to be done. This is how you were supposed to do it. You were supposed to fight tooth and nail for your marriage. Divorce was for other people, not for us. So you can imagine how confusing this was for me as well when I was getting divorced. Now, please don't get me wrong. I don't advocate for anyone to stay in a bad marriage whatsoever. This is just what I perceived was the way it was supposed to be at the time. And obviously, looking back now, I can see this was a very archaic or very naive way of thinking. And my views on marriage have changed quite a bit since. But don't get me wrong, I still think marriage is a beautiful commitment. So here you are with chemicals stirring in your brain, feeling of abandonment and rejection are haunting you among other things. And again, if you're like me, you have the whole Catholic Church ideology in the mix. I mean, I was a hot mess. And like what you may be experiencing right now, I was in full resistance to what was happening. Some call this swimming against the current. And you know how that turns out. And finally, as if things aren't bad enough, the thing that affects us the most, in my opinion, is facing the big, bad unknown. As human beings, we crave stability and certainty, but here we are being forced to leave everything behind. We find ourselves having to leave everything that we're comfortable with, the only life that we know. And we no longer have our partner to face the world with. These are times of uncertainty in every way. And this is scary as hell and such an extraordinarily painful time. It feels like you're never going to be okay ever again. It feels like you're never going to love again. But you will, of course, and you will get through this. And fortunately, there are so many resources out there now where you can find steps to help you get through through this time. If you watch my previous posts, you will find some great resources to help you. Among them, I talk about the no contact rule, which is the best way to begin your healing journey because it takes away that temptation of seeking them out personally or electronically. And this steps helps you to begin to detach from your ex. And I also talk about the different ways to nurture yourself, such as eating right, sleeping good, using a gratitude journal, and exercising while you're going through this really difficult time. And again, for more specific steps, please make sure to click on the link below for my free mini course where I'll go over 6 steps to survive divorce grief. Just remember, right now, the financials and the custody side of your divorce, you know you will be able to tackle with a good lawyer or a mediator. But your spiritual, physical, and mental health need to remain a high priority so that you don't compromise your well being. And you have to be proactive with your healing so that you can begin to find the positive aspects of your divorce that you might never see otherwise. And so that you can come out of this stronger and wiser, and so that you can be your very best self. There are really good things coming out of this, I promise you. I think it's really important to know what is happening to you physically and mentally so that maybe you can get a better handle of the situation. I'm a very visual person myself. So when I get a visual map of what's happening, it really makes a big difference for me. So I hope that this has made some kind of a small difference for you. So thank you for watching. Please leave me any comments or send me messages if any of this has resonated with you whatsoever. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And as always, check on the link below for more resources and information on surviving your divorce grief. I will see you next time. Please take care.